Yes, my name is Gregory Gottlieb. I'm the founder and managing director of Airships Arabia, DWC LLC, which is a company that is currently offering aviation logistics and management consulting services, but with a focus on bringing hybrid airships to the Middle East. And these will be the first airships to have ever been in the Middle East. These airships will provide both logistics and cargo services, as well as passenger services, starting in the next few years. Well, first of all, I should explain that hybrid in this context means airships that derive their ability to fly from a combination of helium gas carried in the airship and aerodynamic lift based on the shape of the aircraft and engine thrust pointed down towards the ground. And so this is a new class of aircraft that's in flight test in the UK and in development in the US and elsewhere. And we hope to be an operator of these aircraft once they become available after type certification with the authorities. What they will change is the fact that 1 cubic meter of helium lifts 1 kilogram. So unlike everything else that flies, they all have to use energy to fly. Airships don't. And so they're much more sustainable, which means that in realistic terms, they're much less expensive to operate and they're much more environmentally friendly. And so we can carry a large amount of freight or a large number of passengers at a modest speed from point to point. Because the other advantage that they have is that they don't use runways. They can operate from sand, from grass, or even from water, which means that you don't need any infrastructure at your start or end point. You've touched on one of the reasons that we've formed the company now, because hybrid aircraft are in early stages of development around the world. There are none operating certified today. And so the reason we've started now is because there are no airship regulations, let alone hybrid airship regulations, anywhere in the Middle East. And so we're now starting to engage with the authorities both here in the UAE and elsewhere to help them understand what is coming in a few years' time, and hopefully to work with them to put in place the necessary regulatory environment to ensure that they operate safely and without disturbing any other form of air transportation. The timeline for Airships Arabia is that for the next several months, we're going to be continuing to provide information to the markets that we're going to address, and we're going to be working closely with the manufacturers of the aircraft overseas to be ready for when they are available here. What we're then going to do is go into a second phase, at which point we'll bring small conventional airships to the UAE to be used for advertising and carrying of broadcast TV cameras. And then the third phase, the arrival of the first hybrid for commercial use, will be in the period 2019-2020. I think the biggest challenge is that Airships Arabia's success is entirely dependent on the success of the manufacturers of the aircraft. Now, the two main manufacturers, one is Lockheed Martin, the giant American corporation. Another is a very successful British company, Hybrid Air Vehicles. But nonetheless, until those companies have fully certified their aircraft, we can't start to earn money from them. And therefore, unlike most startups which develop a product themselves for sale to the market, whether it's an app or a service or a physical product, we're providing a service which is dependent on a product that is still in development by somebody else. The continuing desire for the UAE and Dubai in particular to be at the leading edge of business, commercial and technological developments is not going to stop anytime soon. And I think as more startups, more SMEs offer new capabilities to the markets that Dubai and the UAE can take advantage of, there will be a growing number of entrepreneurs who are able to succeed by demonstrating the validity of their business propositions. And I think in 2017, with the onset of VAT in the UAE, with the necessary regulatory environment that will require, I think that we're going to see a more professional and more organized group of small companies floating to the surface, and we certainly hope to be amongst those. Dubai South is big, and so are my hybrid airships. And so we need space. And without space, we can't function. These are not products to be operated right in built-up areas. And so Dubai South, as an aviation center, as a logistics center, as a humanitarian aid center, is ideally suited for the type of service we're going to be offering in the future.